Hey guys, in this set of examples we're going to look at simplifying fractional exponents without using a calculator. And the idea is to develop a conceptual understanding of radicals and exponents. So we're asked to figure out what the answer to 9 to the power of 3 over 2 is. Let's ask perhaps a simpler question. Instead of 9 to the power of 3 over 2, what's 9 to the power of 1/2? And from our previous work, you know that 9 to the 1/2 is asking you for what two numbers, what number times itself is going to give you 9. And of course, that's going to be 3 because 3 times 3 is 9. So saying 9 to the 1/2 is like saying, what is the square root of 9, which is 3. Now, what is 9 to the 3 over 2 saying? What it's saying is, to extend what we just talked about, some number times itself is going to be 9, and then the answer to this one here was 3 because we took one of those two same numbers. In this case, what we're doing is we're taking 3 of those same numbers. So we just said 3 times 3 is 9, but we need 3 of those numbers. So let's add another one, and this one is also 3. So 9 to the 3 over 2 is basically saying what 3 numbers times themselves is going to be equal to 9 times one more of that same number. So 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. And of course, to keep the equality, 9 times 3 is 27. So all that said, 9 to the 3 over 2 is just equal to 27. So here's another example, 8 to the 2/3. Let's go back to the idea of 8 to the 1 over thirds. So we're just going to make the numerator 1, which is like saying what number times itself 3 times is going to be equal to 8. So this is going to be 2 times 2 times 2, because the cube root of 8 is equal to 2. So what's 8 to the 2/3 saying? Well, 8 to the 2/3 is saying if we have 3 of those numbers, 2 times 2 times 2, and it multiplies to 8, 8 to the 2/3, we're only taking 2 of those same numbers. So we're only taking 2 times 2, which is 4. So what's this extra 2 doing here is, you can think of it as it's dividing out the 8. So if you have 8 divided by this extra 2, that's going to be 4, which means 8 to the 2/3 is equal to 4. And you can confirm that in the calculator if you'd like. One more example, 4 to the 5 over 2. Let's go back to the idea of a unit fractional exponent. In other words, let's take 4 to the 1 over 2 instead of 5 over 2, and write it as what number times itself. We're only taking 2 of those numbers because the denominator is 2, is going to be equal to 4. And we all know that's going to be 2. 2 times 2 is 4. But this one is saying to take 5 of those same numbers. So we're going to take 4 to the 5 over 2. We're going to take those original 2 numbers, and we need 3 more. So we're going to take times 2 times 2 times 2, and that was equal to 4. But now the answer is going to be equal to 4 times 3 more of those numbers. So if we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, if we take 5 of those, that's going to be 32. Just like taking 4 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 32, which means 4 to the 5 over 2 is going to be 32.